Hey guys, before we begin, I've just posted a new Empire at War video on my second channel. It's basically just an hour of Super Star Destroyer battles, so if you want to check that out, there's a link in the description. I'll also be streaming tonight at Twitch, link to that as well. Anyway, roll the intro. When I say battle droid, your mind probably goes to the bumbling and incompetent B1s of the Clone Wars and beyond, or maybe the slightly more dangerous B2s or even B3s. However, Star Wars Legends has within it a battle droid that should strike fear into your heart, as it did the enemies of the New Republic and later Galactic Alliance, a veritable Terminator, a tool of absolute destruction. For much of Star Wars Legends, the Yuuzhan Vong Hunter line of battle droids, the YVHs, were heroic. They fought alongside Jedi and slaughtered the technophobic Yuuzhan Vong by the hundreds, tearing apart the invaders with pulse rifles, metallic fists, and grenades, all with maximum efficiency. YVHs stood strong against the Killiks, crushing bugs in the cramped corridors of their own nest ships, helping the Galactic Alliance to destroy the Dark Nest and prevent a galaxy-engulfing war. However, some 40 years after the Battle of Yavin, as systems rebelled against an increasingly authoritarian government, Jacen Solo deposed Chief of State Cal Omis, seizing control of the GA and ruling the galaxy through a military junta. As Jacen fell deeper to the dark side, many of history's greatest heroes were now marked as enemies, including not only the Jedi, but his own family. While Mon Calamari cruisers bombed planets like Kashyyyk alongside Star Destroyers, Jacen Solo was guarded by his cadre of YVH droids. On one particular trip to Coruscant, he was guarded by a single YVH, and during this encounter, we learn of the machine's deadliness. From Legacy of the Force Fury, we get the following. There's other bad news. The second vehicle is carrying a YVH combat droid. The Yuuzhan Vong Hunter droids, designed at the height of the Yuuzhan Vong War, were formidable. In a one-on-one match between a Jedi Knight and a YVH droid, the odds were about even. If the Jedi was experienced, if the battle dragged on long enough for her to tire, she was likely to be the loser, a dead loser. Later, as Grand Master Luke Skywalker and a Jedi strike team including Sabah Sebatine hunted Jacen on his own Star Destroyer, Jacen anticipated that his 8 protective droids would be enough to whittle down the Jedi numbers. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's examine the history of the YVH. The Yuuzhan Vong invaded in 25 ABY, killing trillions in their opening Outer Rim blitzes. The average Vong warrior could match a Jedi in combat and would devastate lesser skilled opponents. In response, Tendrando Arms, a corporation founded by Lando and his wife Tendra Regent, produced the first batch of YVH battle droids. These were terrifying tools of war, and were designed to be. YVHs were engineered specifically to drive Yuuzhan Vong warriors into a maddened frenzy during battle. Their appearance was modeled after the aliens, who saw technology as sacrilegious, and bellowed an array of insults in an edited, hyper-masculinized version of Lando's voice. But I'll let Calrissian himself sell you on the droid. We get the following, paraphrased from Star by Star. The YVH is a top-notch war droid with flawless search and identify engineering, the heavy weapons punch of a 4-seater blast car, and with the optional aluminium layered armor, the durability to survive even the most hazardous postings. The hulking war droid sprang into view, a skull-headed blur of black and gray camouflage, bouncing across the floor in a dizzying array of evasive flips and mid-air twists. It crashed through a ferrocrete wall that had apparently been erected just for that purpose, dived over a hovering land speeder, and finished by positioning itself precisely at the entrance of the proving facility. The droids had repulsors built into their legs, which allowed them to jump massive heights. They had blasters, powerful enough to destroy a coral skipper, a powerful Vong starfighter, sensors which could identify even the most well-cloaked enemies at a glance, and self-healing armor. Even a demonstration model YVH with artificially limited firepower killed several Yuuzhan Vong during a raid, crushing one like an egg, liquefying the warrior within his own armor. Soon after their introduction into the New Republic military, YVHs were instrumental during the Jedi suicide mission to Merkur, destroying whole corridors of Vong agents as the Jedi strike team neutralized the Voxan Queen. During this mission, YVHs showed off not only their incredible combat prowess, but their tactical acuity and their ability to coordinate with both their fellow droids and living beings. YVHs were also destructive at the evacuation of Coruscant. One single droid killed a group of warriors in 4 seconds, then 5 more Vong in 5 shots, literally disarming a final warrior who was about to kill a baby. And by literally disarm, I mean he shot his arm off mid-movement. Yuuzhan Vong hunters would devastate and dominate the alien invaders at every turn, and the Vong would come to hate them almost as much as the Jedi. After the war, the popularity of YVHs, now not only used for killing Yuuzhan Vong, soared. They made their way, for example, into civilian life. Ben Skywalker, Jason Solo's daughter Alana, and the Solo family were among many, protected by individual YVHs, while other corporations built similar models, including the Ever Alert. A variant of YVHs, also known as Bug Crunchers, was used by the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances to counter the Dark Nest threat. Over 1,000 Bug Crunchers participated in the final battle of the war, the Battle of Tanupe, and although many were lost mid-transit while in space, several bug-stomping brigades helped Luke Skywalker secure the Admiral Akbar, a GFFA Star Destroyer, protecting the Grand Master as he subdued Unu Thul and Lomi Plo. And on the note of Bug Crunchers, one of the best aspects of the YVH was its versatility and configurability. Standard YVHs had at least one arm available for swappable weapons, everything from sonic blasters to missile launchers to more exotic guns. The droids could also be reprogrammed, as was the case with the YVA Bug Crunchers, who were programmed to the specifications of Han Solo, or swapped into different shells with ease. There was even a YVH model mouse droid. Basically a mouse droid with YVH sensor systems and personality. It was used to sniff out masked Vong infiltrators who had been wreaking havoc across the galaxy and were incredibly useful. And I'm not kidding about that. Although ultimately Jason's YVHs were not able to protect the Sith, now known as Kaidos, from Luke, Saba, and the others, they were only defeated because the Jedi had prepared for them. By Fate of the Jedi, YVHs are still described as perhaps the most dangerous technology within the galaxy. Omen further reiterates my point from earlier that YVH droids were often a match for an armed and unrestrained Jedi, and certainly too great an obstacle for an unarmed and restrained one. Fate of the Jedi also introduces Vrainin Vax, an individual injured during the Yuuzhan Vong War who has the remaining bits of his body placed within a YVH carapace. Quite an interesting individual. Anyway guys, that is all for the deadliest droid in the Star Wars universe, at least in my opinion. Is there a droid more deadly than the YVH? One who would be better at killing Jedi, or maybe the Yuuzhan Vong? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and turn notifications on. Anyway, until next time guys, this has been your host EckhartsLadder. As always, may the Force be with you.